Classic Leap Podcast time!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 253 of the Classic Leap Podcast. My name is Scott. I've got Dustin with me. What is going on, man?
Halloween's over.
It is. It is November 1st. I was wrong last week when I said we'd podcast again before Halloween. So how's your withdrawal holding up? Your headaches, your stomach ache?
It's all right. I got this shirt in the mail today.
Oh, a great Michael Myers shirt. Awesome. No lives matter. Oh, that's great. Did you have a good Halloween weekend and a good Halloween yesterday?
It was all right.
Yeah.
The weekend was real busy because Kim came down with something.
That sucks.
I was doing a lot of stuff around the house, but the entire time we were trick-or-treating, like, Solomon was a ball of energy. He was super excited.
Hell yeah.
The day before and the day of, he was like super excited about Halloween, so that was good.
So what? You're doing your job. You're passing on your knowledge. What was he? And did you dress up too?
I kind of wanted to. So he was the red Ninjago, Lego Ninja.
Okay.
And what I wanted to do was from the movie, the Ninjago movie, where the green ninja and the bad guy are father and son. So he could be the green Ninjago and I could be the father.
Okay.
But I couldn't find the costumes in time.
Too much hassle.
And they were like $1 billion.
Yeah, that's what sucks. They really get you. The markup on Halloween stuff just preys on us last minute people.
Yeah, it's got to be like 1,000%.
If you can pop up a retail outlet just for 3 weekends and make it worthwhile,
yeah,
pretty impressive. Yeah, we have an old pharmacy. It was called The Farm, and it was like a supermarket pharmacy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like empty except for once a year it's filled with Halloween crap and really expensive, shitty Halloween costumes. So yeah, I dressed up as a kind of a wizard druid, and I slicked my hair back and I painted my face white and black, and I was kind of going for Death from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey as my inspiration. And when I walked in, my friends either felt really bad for me or they were impressed. I'm not sure which way, because I got a very strong "you look great" reaction. So they either felt real bad for me or they liked it. I don't know which. So yeah, I had a very fun Halloween. It was a great weekend, and Tuesday was a lot of fun. Just chilling out, playing some fucking Outlast.
Should
we talk about Outlast just right out of the gate before we get to news and announcements and stuff?
What's up?
Should we talk about Outlast just right out of the gate?
Sure.
Okay. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that my neighborhood is dead during Halloween. So I actually go to my buddy's who has 3 kids, and they live in like a huge neighborhood, so it's perfect.
See, I'm bummed about that. My neighborhood is full of all these tiny houses put right together. Mm-hmm. My neighbors suck. I'm like one of the only houses that participate. So at least, but you're part of the problem. It's people like you that leave my neighborhood and go to better ones and have their lights off.
I live on a 2-lane road, and it's like 30 miles an hour. It's not super like division. It's not like a subdivision.
Gotcha.
It's just like basically like a rural road.
Okay.
And even though it's a 30-mile-an-hour road, people still go way too fast.
Gotcha. That's fair. My neighborhood is very dense, so it's slow-moving traffic anyways. So we're all good there. I will give you a pass for leaving.
And it took over an hour to get across Nashville to my buddy's place. So
that's not a surprise, man. Nashville's
really
hopping on Halloween. We got Caleb. Good to see you, man. He was there for the stream last night when I was bitching about Outlast, and We got Angela. What's going on? She had no trick-or-treaters. That's a bummer. I bought a little too much candy, which isn't that big of a problem. Mm-hmm. But I was the cool guy that's like, grab 2, do whatever you want. I had a lot of kids. By the end of the night,
you're just shoveling it.
Yeah. I had a lot of kids very happy that they stopped by my house.
Awesome.
I have a tradition now. I got a little TV tray, and I put my laptop on there, and I watch Young Frankenstein while I hand out Halloween candy. Sweet. And I absolutely love it. Yeah. It's silly, but it's really fun to do. If only I could drink beer, but that feels really inappropriate to be drinking beer, handing candy to kids. So I just enjoy my Mel Brooks, and I bought luminaries like they put out around Christmas, but they're black and have jack-o'-lantern faces cut out of them.
Okay.
And I drop little LEDs that blink that I found on Amazon. People use them for like weddings and stuff. I'm like, no, I'm putting them in luminaries. And so my whole, I've got a big like open glass window that looks out on the street. So I've got them like taped up all over. So I have this like rave pumpkin fest coming up to my house. I need to
love that band.
Rave Pumpkin Fest. Whoa, Rave Pumpkin Fest. It's got a little story there. So yeah, let's talk about, before we get to gaming news, we're a gaming podcast, and what we've been playing. Let's talk about Outlast.
Let's do it.
This is one of your favorite games of all time.
It's excellent.
Tony and I, out of, I don't know, the guilt of growing up Catholic, we feel this obligation to make our friends happy. We decided that we're both going to play Outlast to make Dustin happy. So why don't you describe what you like about the game? Did you get to see any of our streams?
I've seen. So I showed up live for some of Tony's.
Okay.
And I watched the entire archive thing afterwards. So I filled in what I missed.
Okay.
Afterwards. Yours, I tried to play earlier in the day, and like the voice was off sync, and it wasn't loading very well. I think it was on YouTube side.
I did do, it might have been processing that edit, because I tried to cut out a bunch of stuff, and maybe it's out of sync, and I'll just have to take it down.
Well, because I was looking at it earlier, like right before we started, and it seemed fine.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking it was something funky on YouTube side.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen all of yours yet.
Okay.
But I did start it.
Spoiler, by the end, I'm yelling, why does Dustin like this game? So, Outlast, it's one of your favorite games. When you first played it, what system? Was it 360 or did you play PC?
PS4.
PS4. Oh, PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that new of a game?
It is.
Wow, I wonder why I thought it was last generation.
I don't believe so.
I guess this generation's been out for a while, though. When that started,
like 5 years, right?
Jeez.
Wow. Is it 5 years?
I think 2014 is when PS4 came out. Or 2013.
Okay.
4 or 5 years. I think 4 is conservative. Okay, so I guess how long before you got hooked on Outlast were you playing it?
2013. So yeah, it's been out almost 4 years. So before I played it, I watched Patrick Klepek play it.
Okay.
On Spookin' with Scoops. And when I watched him play it, I was like, I have to own this game. So I downloaded it, and I just immediately loved it.
When I Googled it, it was 10 out of 10 on Steam.
Yeah.
I'm in a minority here. It was really dark, and I think my monitor's a little too dark with the NVIDIA software. I just like how, I don't know. I should have cranked that up before I started playing. So I had a hard time seeing cues and what I was supposed to do. So I was going past doors that I needed to get to constantly. Mm-hmm. There were little flickers that I didn't recognize because I just didn't see it. It didn't look different than the environment to me.
Yeah.
And then when I wasn't insta-killed, like when you could take damage, it just became frustrating and not scary anymore. I'm like, I'm getting stuck in the environment. I don't know where to go. I can take a couple hits, run away, trick him, come back, take a couple hits to explore a little more, and eventually then... So you know when there's like really tiny spots you can shimmy through?
Mm-hmm.
There was one time I just didn't see it. I knew it was around there. So because I didn't see it, I thought I was at a different part of the level. So I think you'll be very frustrated watching my... I felt like I played the game very poorly. I think...
I don't know. Maybe since I kind of had an idea of what to expect, I didn't run into as many snacks because I didn't go into it blind like you guys did.
Yeah, so I had a hard time with the puzzle element of it.
Mm-hmm.
The jump scares got me real big.
Yeah.
Like I knew they were coming, but not at the moment. I just was ready for it, and they still got me. Really early, the creepy dude that's sitting in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
I kept like trying to interact with that guy, and then it got me. After I got the script to run to the next scene, it totally messed me up. I was like, oh my God, that's not fair.
Yeah, I do remember, even though I was somewhat familiar with the game, there was a part where you're trying to get away from a guy, and I think it's like midway through the game, but the only way out is through a vent, and I didn't see the vent.
Okay.
Because it's like up in the ceiling.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, what in the hell am I supposed to do here?
And they do try to train you with looking at the vent early in the game. It's one of the first things that they do. I think I did myself a disservice by not using a controller. I'm very bad with a mouse and keyboard, and I did try to map certain things to my mouse that I would fumble on. So I put the lean on mouse buttons. I put the camera battery reload on the buttons. I used the toggle the thing on and off, the light on and off. And I still like really stunk at just playing the game. And I felt like if I was better at just playing the game, I would have been more spooked.
Yeah.
But I was getting just frustrated with like the geometry of it. So I feel bad. Like I didn't get as scared as I thought I would. And it wasn't because the game wasn't spooky. It was because I was not playing well.
Well, you just need to try it with a controller.
Maybe so. Caleb, who's in chat, what's up, Caleb? He said I need to stream again. So I don't know if he meant in general or that game, but maybe I'll try that game again, remap the controller, make sure it works well, and then I'll just pick up for my save. Because it's not a long game, right?
No, it's like 4 or 6 hours, something like that.
That's not bad. Okay.
Maybe 6 to 8.
I'm not going to...
It wasn't too long.
Yeah, I'm not going to finish it on stream, but I think I might go back to it.
Yeah.
So... I guess from a narrative perspective, did it start to pick up pace for you? Isn't the idea that you're supposed to look everywhere and try to pick up everything you can to just engross yourself in the story?
Yeah, a majority of the storytelling is through picking up notes. And if you keep your camera up, then... your guy will give you a like flavor text. He'll write it down in a notebook for you to read.
Yeah, okay.
But overall, I think the story was, it was meh. But it's very much found footage, the game.
Yeah. And I played with headphones. The sound design is excellent in that game.
Yeah.
It is very creepy. And I would see guys at like the end of a hallway. So I'd be spooked to make any noise. And then I would get turned around and be like, ah.
See, that's something both you and Tony did that I haven't. I haven't played through it with headphones.
I didn't want to have the mic pick up my computer speakers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I have no choice. And then when I also played with it well lit like this. But because I couldn't see the contrast on the monitor very well, I had to flip the lights off, and I'm like, oh, this is going to get bad on me. But it was fine. It does, like I've seen people play the Slenderman game, where they looked for notes around a little forest area. And watching people play, that spooked me out. And seeing someone play Five Nights at Freddy's would creep me out. So I didn't want to actually play it, but once I got in, I think maybe I'll give it another go. I'll be more willing to try Amnesia, stuff like that.
Amnesia will seem tame by comparison. I can warn you about that.
Man, when the game first starts up and there's a dude on a spike giving you narrative, it's like, all right, I'm in for some gross stuff here. So, also, congratulations to Caleb. He had to dip out of the stream last night. He and his buddies won a CSGO tournament last night. He's like, hey, I'm going to go play CSGO.
That's all?
Says he won. He's going to go watch the World Series. I would watch the World Series over this, too. My boy Verlander, though, lost last night.
Baseball.
Too many. I like baseball a lot. It's good time to be a fan of sports right now. The fall's the best.
I didn't mind watching baseball back when I still drank.
Yeah, I mean that does help.
Now it's just watching baseball.
Live, it's still fun, but on TV, if you have no vested interest,
yeah, going to a live game is still fun, even though I don't drink because there's like food to eat and the crowd is fun.
Does Nashville have a minor league team?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun.
Nashville Sounds.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
I love how goofy minor league teams are with their names.
Yeah,
Toledo's the Mud Hens. I don't even know what the Mud Hens are, but I love them.
that's awesome.
So Zarek says the part where I didn't know I could go under boards in the same room with the guys watching Static. Sorry, I'm reading that poorly. Zarek also says, I figured out a trick in Outlast. I got through the game pretty fast, and I had no idea where I was going. Whenever a guy came out of a door to chase me, I'd run by them to the door they came out of. That makes sense. I do like how they do cues like that. Mm-hmm. Like I had a guy run out of a room, and I knew that there was something that I needed to do there. Hey, cool, the Astros are winning. They were last night, too, and I cut the stream off. Oh, no, they hadn't started yet. That was the Indians game. Hopefully Astros win. So, yeah, I don't hate Outlast, but it was disappointing. My mechanics struggled, is I guess all I wanted to. So I'm not mad at you, but I feel disappointed. I don't think you'll enjoy my stream very much.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
But yeah, I'll be much more receptive to that. So you've warmed me up to that, Dustin. You have not led me astray with your recommendations to date.
Sweet.
So yeah, man. I guess let's talk about some news.
Let's do it.
Did you see the first bullet point? This is pretty exciting stuff.
Spelunky 2. It's coming to PS4 and Steam. No release date yet.
Did you ever play any Spelunky?
I haven't, even though I got...
Ken says I need to get good.
I think I got it through PS Plus once, but I never got around to playing it.
It's very fun. If you had the South Bend Cup. Oh, I love Notre Dame. Is Caleb around South Bend? Irish are having a good year this year. Angela says that in Brooklyn, the minor league's called the Cyclones.
All right.
It's very cool. Yeah, I love all that stuff. Spelunky's very fun. It's very difficult. I don't know. Do you ever get into roguelikes very much?
A little. I don't like the idea of my progress being taken from me.
The Spelunky could be pretty brutal about that. What's crazy, so they didn't show any gameplay or anything, but it's a really sad trailer. They take you through, I mean, it's a trailer, so I guess I'll walk you through it. It's the regular artwork that you normally see in Spelunky, and they start laying down what looks like Polaroid pictures, and they show Spelunky with a woman and a baby, and they're like, found the best treasure. And then they show more Polaroids of the kid kind of growing up, and then the Spelunky guy having a beard and handing his Spelunky hat to the kid, and then the dad just fades away. So it implies that the dad dies, like Wonder Years style, and the kid takes the mantle, and I guess we're supposed to start spelunking in the second generation.
Son of Spelunky.
Son of Spelunky. They did go with Splunky too, but Son of Splunky would have been amazing,
right?
And that rock chiseled font that they'd have in the 80s, where it was looked like it was like 3D projected. That would be amazing. Oh, that's cool. Caleb's in Indiana. Fuck yeah, not far away for me. I'm in Northern Ohio. My dad's going to South Bend this weekend. He got free tickets to Notre Dame Wake Forest.
Score.
Yeah. My buddy, for my birthday, bought on eBay, and it just showed up today, Notre Dame marching band vinyl from the 70s.
Dude, that's
like
awesome.
I got chills listening to it. I've heard it on CD a bunch, but it's my buddy that went to Notre Dame. We've been friends since first grade, kindergarten.
Yeah.
It was like outrageously thoughtful. He I guess short quick story. He sent me a care package. I'm a diehard Notre Dame fan. Sent me a care package with like a Notre Dame shirt and like student paper, all these little knickknacks from Notre Dame when we were freshmen. So when I went to OU, since he's from Ohio too, I sent him an OU care package. Like he sent a braggadocious picture of the dome that he's like, this is what I see when I walk out of my front door on the dorm. So OU happened to have a white dome of a clock tower, and it was outside of my dorm. So I mimicked his package perfectly. And so for he ended up getting the nickname Ohio because I sent him this Ohio shirt. And he spent 6 months abroad in Australia. And then he went into the Northeast for graduate school. Everyone calls him Ohio. That's just his name because of that stupid T-shirt I got him.
That's awesome.
It's just like, and I can just picture a bunch of Australian people like Ohio. Like I don't even know how you do an Australian Ohio accent. So good deal.
Isn't it like treason?
No, Michigan State is allowed to be liked by Notre Dame.
Oh, okay.
It's Michigan that sucks.
Okay.
Michigan State's my favorite Big Ten school. So Caleb and I just became best friends.
All right.
So good deal.
Oh, that's right. They're Notre Dame's ACC now, right?
In basketball, not in football.
Not in football? That seems confusing.
It is. It's very confusing. Here's the real confusing part. Contractually, Notre Dame has to play a certain amount of ACC teams every year.
Okay.
But they're still independent, so they don't participate in the ACC championship game.
Okay.
But they still play half their schedules like ACC teams.
Man. Okay.
And it's why people hate Notre Dame. Because they're like, just get in a conference already. You're not good enough to be independent. Which I don't argue, but it's really fun. Zarek says 100%. They called it Son of Spelunky. People would have claimed sexism. We have a segment, Dustin, in the news. I think we're just gonna have to call it dumb news.
Okay.
Because there are 3 items in here that are absolutely absurd, and it feels like the last month there's been silly stuff to talk about. So yeah, Splunky 2. Keep your eye out for it. The next item I just thought was fairly interesting. It turns out, I think by reviewing this data, Dustin, that Nintendo hit the mark with the Switch. It looks like the vast majority of people play it in handheld and docked mode. And more people tend to play, if you play it exclusively in one or the other, more people tend to play it in handheld over docked. But a ton of people play it both ways or in handheld. But a non-insignificant amount play it in docked. If it was skewed just one way, I think that they would have been a clear failure.
Yeah.
They've got a nice spread here. It looks like, according to Eurogamer, around 30% of Switch owners play undocked for more than 80% of the time. He said that's compared to less than 20% of Switch owners who play docked to the TV more than 80% of the time. So if you play it most one way or the other, odds are you play it in handheld mode, but most of their customers play it in both.
All right. That's cool. Well done.
Right? Well done. It's like they looked at the Switch or the Wii U and were like, God, no one's playing it at home. But we know if they could take this with them, it would be a huge hit.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty impressive. Hey, what's up, Tony? It's funny. Caleb is a Pacers fan. I'm a Detroit Pistons fan. So I'm flip-flopped in the NBA. He likes Indiana. Screw Reggie Miller. Actually, I like Reggie Miller. Yeah, but Tony's here. It's good to see you, man. I think you just missed our Outlast discussion. So if you have any tips or any thoughts, let us know.
Any tips and or tricks?
Yeah. Sorry, I was clearly looking at the next bullet point before finishing that thought. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Next up, I don't think you would have seen this yet. Razer made a phone. Like the PC gaming Razer.
Oh, okay.
Make like keyboards, laptops, and stuff.
I was thinking like Motorola Razer.
The OG Razer, right?
Yeah.
Which I hate. I do hate that I use the term OG when there's nothing gangster about it, but it is what it is. It's fun to say OG. Yeah, I thought it was a revival, like an Android-based Razer. No, it's a gaming phone from PC Razer.
What would that even be?
Here's what's cool about it. It's 120 hertz refresh rate on a phone.
Okay.
1440p resolution. It has designed thick bezels so that you have placements for your thumbs and big speaker grills. It has the same, it's got a Snapdragon 835, which is the best processor right now. It has a dedicated Arduino graphics unit. I think that's what Arduino does. And 8 gigabytes of RAM. Oh, Dustin heard a rumor that you picked up a new console. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. All right, so are you laughing at other YouTube stuff? Or are you laughing at me nerding out over specs?
I'm laughing at the fact that if somebody doesn't know just a basic technology stuff, it's going to sound like you are making up words as you go along.
That's absolutely fair. Yes. Okay.
Like you may as well be able to have been like reading from the Silmarillion.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's totally fair. That I was expecting a lot out of the audience on that one. But 120 hertz refresh rate is 120 frames a second, basically. So Marques Brownlee, I always forget how to say his first name. MKBHD on YouTube is he does a kind of a first impressions of this phone and says it's awesome. He's my most trusted phone reviewer, I guess. Yeah. 5 million subs on YouTube. He's huge.
So he doesn't phone it in?
No. That's very good. But yeah, 120 hertz refresh rate for a phone based on gaming is really interesting. And I'm biased as a PC gamer, but it always feels like if you build your computer to play games well, you're probably going to have a pretty good PC for everything. It turns out the phone is very similar to that. He's like, it just works really, really well. Yeah. I have no idea if what the cost is. It could be $1,500. I have no idea. But it was cool. They bought Nextbit. It was a Android phone.
For the phone itself?
$700? I think that's a steal. Honestly.
Yeah.
New Pixel's $800. The new iPhone's $800 or $1,000. The Essential phone's $700. I mean, if you're getting a premium phone, $700 is the low end of that bracket.
Yeah, agreed.
That's pretty. I know Tony says it's too much for him, but if you're a Razer enthusiast, oh man, I'd be drooling all over this. If I was decked out in green RGB everywhere. I guess I should say green LEDs. RGB implies there's all the colors.
Yeah, it would be RGB minus the RB.
Yes.
Just the G.
So you're right back. For some reason, it just sounded like a... Oh, hey, Zarek makes a good point. OG should just be original gadget. So now
that could also apply to Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers.
That's deep. That took me a second. That's very good. Ken will appreciate that. I'm going to write another Bombcast and let him know OG for the original Xbox. Can't stand for original gadget.
There you go.
Boy, it's hard to not think of gadget whenever I say that word now for the rest of the podcast. Anytime we bring that up, I'll think of her. So next up, how many units did Super Mario sell?
2 million in the first 3 days.
That's stunning.
Yeah.
I think that's all the Switches they've sold.
Right.
So what do you think of Super Mario Odyssey?
It is excellent.
That's what I think. I don't want to talk too much about it. There's a lot of neat things to that game.
Yeah.
Have you played with Sully at all? Have you done the 2-player?
We haven't done the 2-player yet.
I don't think it's like... I think it's like the crappy Galaxy, where it's kind of like 2-player assist, not like 3D World.
2 thumbs down.
And I... which
0
is
to 10.
fair,
We're not
which is
playing
fair. Uninstall. I feel like I heard Ben Pack on Giant Bomb make a reference to that. Or maybe it was during their quick look. It was one of those guys. Made a passing comment that, it's like the Galaxy 2-player.
Yeah.
I was hoping to have, I don't know, some bizarre Nintendo thing happen.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised it sold 2 million. It's going to keep selling, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every Switch is people are going to want that game. Caleb says 2 days, actually.
Ooh.
So, Eurogamer was being conservative. 2 million. Also, another 2 million is like the number of the day for Nintendo. That's how many SNES classics they've sold to date, and they're going to continue making more.
All right. Star Fox 2 for everybody.
Yeah, for everybody. The dream of an impulse purchase is, I think it's going to be real. Except I do order my groceries online a lot now and go pick them up.
Can I just get Star Fox 2 inside a Star Fox 2 cartridge?
Maybe by I am 8-bit, but they'll recommend you don't play it in your SNES or it might blow up.
No, I mean, I just want, it's a SNES Mini, but inside the cartridge, and all it has on it is Star Fox 2. I plug the cartridge through HDMI to my TV.
We can make that work. We can somehow.
Ben Heck, get on that.
Raspberry Pi and a little mini saw, and I got you covered. And that'll be the only game I put on it. Promise. It would be funny to reverse hack the SNES Classic. If all you wanted was a Star Fox 2 machine, you hack it so you can delete everything but Star Fox. That's kind of where I thought you were going with it.
I just delete everything and make that bad SNES Mini like we were talking about.
Yes. Why do we say our good ideas live on air? That would have made an amazing video.
Oh, goodness. So it's just how
to make a Star Fox 2 machine, and you walk yourself through hacking it and then just deleting files. That would be really fun.
It's nothing. It's got Chuck Rock and Time Slip and Hyperzone.
Narc. Oh, no, that was an NES game. That game was terrible.
They're not going there anyway. Who cares?
Why not, right? Great. Zarek says that the second player controls the hat. It seems overpowered to me. Oh, the player can basically be an invincible killing machine. He said, I saw a video where a second player moved over a hole, so Mario had a platform to jump on. Then he moved the hat, and then Mario jumped on it. It is pretty, the controls. Have you thrown a hat out and then done a long jump to jump on it so you can jump again off the hat?
Not yet.
I never would have done that had I not heard it mentioned that you could do it. And so I heard Dan Reichert talking about it. And the reason he found out that could happen, because he had a pre-release copy, so there was no internet buzz. He was goofing around out in the desert or something and saw a Koopa do it with a shell. He was like, wait, can I do that?
All right.
Like, that's part of the brilliance of that game. You just keep poking around and stuff happens.
Yeah.
But it's not like a fetch quest. But you need to collect stuff to move on. On paper, I hate this game. The hat gimmick sounds dumb.
Yeah.
Being in lineage of Mario Sunshine sounds kind of dumb. Playing as other characters sounds dumb. And it's amazing. I love the game.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the first Mario game that just wanted to be a Mario game.
Since like 64, maybe?
Yeah, because Sunshine was, hey, you have the flood on your back. Everything is built around the flood. The Galaxy games were everything is a sphere that you run around and you're stuck with motion controls.
Yeah, they were like, hey, in case anybody cares what good motion controls are like, here's what they are.
3D World was great. I know people don't consider it like a core Mario game, but I thought that game was excellent.
I absolutely agree.
So I feel like this is the first core Mario game that is just nothing but awesome game design.
Yeah, it's just awesome new Mario. And they force you into little things that just make you see, wow, like, oh, what a fun mechanic this is. I think the boss fights are really cool. Have you noticed a Zelda feel? Like little sprinklings of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's trying to be Zelda, just little bits of...
Like, the design was informed by Breath of the Wild in some weird way.
Yeah, or even like Ocarina of Time. Just little... The way that information is displayed on the screen. Or the ability to explore, but not really... I mean, you're really confined, but it feels like you can do anything. It's really cool. Man, to go from Cuphead to this... like, that's crazy. Yeah. They're two really, really, really good video games. What a time to be into this hobby.
Right.
This has been... And then, have you played Wolfenstein 2?
No.
I hear that's incredible. I hadn't even considered buying it. Now I'm hearing people talk about it. Like, I want to play that game. Crap, I didn't play the first one yet. I'm like, all right, well...
I need to play that too. I own it on PS4.
I have it on PC. I don't know if I have the prequel, the second one. Yeah, what a time to be into video games. Jeez, there's a lot of really cool stuff. All right, Dustin, let's get into the news segment.
All right.
Dumb news.
Dumb news. Bom, 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 bom.
Yeah, there we go.
Wah. All right. So starting off, we have two video games are societal problem stories. The first being China may ban PUBG for deviating from, in quotes, core socialist values. That
comes from China. That's what their government said.
This is a complete aside that I think of every once in a while, and I was like, I have to mention it on the podcast. Most country names, whenever I hear them or whenever I read them in Street Fighter 2 voice.
Okay.
So when I read that, I went, China, Brazil, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
India.
Yeah, I immediately went to Venezuela because of the socialism thing, but the way you like draw out the A's. Fight.
Japan. USA.
You're right.
I do that every time I read something.
See, I hear China and I hear the Donald Trump meme.
Oh, yeah.
China. But I prefer the Street Fighter way. So, there's not much else to say. I'll link the PC Gamer article.
Yeah.
I guess we'll read the quote. Oops. I thought I had them whitelisted. I by default use a ad blocker, but on PC Gamer and stuff I do not. It says loosely translated by Google. Here's what Chinese developer that might echo games such as PUBG said. It said, to this end, I recommend domestic game companies should not arrange the introduction of such games. Do not advocate to test such a way to attract users. At the same time, gaming, living in other platforms, should not be games to provide publicly promotion or other such services. Oh, that's the wrong quote.
You've been
autoplay ads. This is why people use ad block. Nonetheless, the Chinese government basically said that it does not it's not conducive to the physical and mental health of young consumers, the socialist core values and traditional Chinese culture, and ethical norms. That this is a deviation from those things. My buddy that lives in Beijing, we were talking about socialism. He's like, dude, the shit that's banned there because of the government saying so is crazy. I'm like, well, that sucks. Hey, good luck, Caleb. Get another good win. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Like, does a government of 1 billion people think that a last man standing is really that much of a threat to... Maybe if they just don't celebrate the wins. Maybe if you don't try to win, it's okay to play. Leave that to the Westerners.
What if the last guy standing was run over by tanks?
Ooh, that's going Ho Chi Minh Square there. That's good reference. What really sucks about, from PUBG's perspective, China's their biggest market in early access. Mm-hmm. So this is all coming into before it launches next month. It's coming out of early access. It's coming on Xbox One. And the Chinese government's saying, we don't know about this. So America's not so bad. Canada's not so bad. Yeah. England's not so bad. So that's one in silly news for the week, and let's get into the next bit of dumb news for the week.
All right. Well, back in the day, we almost beat white nationalism. Almost. With the fall of Atari, we almost killed it. But then Miyamoto and his damned Super Mario Brothers came along. And according to NBC News, the alt-right is the fault of gamers, especially the ones who use Discord.
There's an NBC News story. It's about 4 minutes long, that shows how gamers, the alt-right was formed from gamers using Discord. I was introduced by Discord from people that are definitely not alt-right.
Yes, same.
There's at one point a graphic that shows two controllers and arrows pointing to Discord. Okay? While the narrator is talking, one of them turns into a KKK mask, one of the controllers. It was the most laughable... Like, come on. This is on NBC News? Was this shown, like, outside of... Did my grandma watch this? Like, what the hell? The fact they wrote Discord into it, that's a new level of silliness.
Yeah. Well, damn it.
Ban public spaces. Like, it's hilarious. Our news in America is eating itself right now, and it's pretty embarrassing to watch.
Yeah.
Because it's all on the internet, so it's not just us, like, in our country seeing it. Everybody around the world seeing it is laughing, like, what are they doing over there? But, yeah, so...
Except for some of the people in the UK who are like, yeah.
Some. Not a lot.
like 2%.
Yeah. Enough of margin, right, to exit the union, but not really, because
Right, yeah.
boy, that's a whole political mess too. I find it really, really strange that the news about once every 10 years really hammers hard that people that play video games or listen to, I guess, music in general now are just terrible people. It must get them a lot of clicks, like furniture stores that have going out of business sales and they don't go out of business.
Yeah.
This is just, we haven't been to that well in a while. Let's go poke around in there.
I need 10,000 clicks in an hour. What am I going to do?
I know. Here we go. Zarek, Zarek's got a Discord. I'm straight up blasting them on social media so that everybody knows that Zarek's harboring. Zarek's south of the Mason-Dixon. He has a Discord. Racist.
He's racist against Siamese.
If you're connected, screw you. I couldn't believe it was real. I thought it was parody again. Like, I don't know what we call this segment. Not the Onion? Bad news?
Yeah, that's good. Not the Onion.
I mean, my goodness. So that's available. We'll link the direct. We won't link commentary. We'll link the news article, the video. You can watch it yourself and see if you come to a different conclusion than we do. So the last bit of...
I knew something was off when his server was called Calicos Only.
God. So there's one last thing of silly news. This is not the Onion. Polygon has a headline that says, "Stop using extreme violence to sell games." And I've got a little commentary here that says, "I know game journalists are under a lot of pressure to get content out, so there's not a lot of chance to think through some of the things they put out. But, I mean, so do we have to get rid of horror movies?"
So, occasionally somebody will say something like, people flipped out over it having the train on what's-her-face in the book.
I have no idea.
And then, like the kids had sex with the one girl in the book.
Oh, I guess I haven't seen that in a while. Okay, so they all had sex with the same girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Stephen King was like, "Wow, people got all upset about that. They didn't care about the fact that I was killing kids. Like, they got upset about kids having sex, not about kids dying a horrible death." And I'm trying to find it real quick, but this article says something to the effect
You're doing well.
of me stalling. There it is. Okay. There's a difference in how Naughty Dog handled the trailers for The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us, Joel may be gunning down hunters, but we understand why he's doing it. And those he's attacking aren't women or marginalized people. So it's okay
As long as
it's white guys?
that, I don't know what other conclusion you can draw.
Why don't you have a problem with white guys being beaten to death?
I just don't understand people that claim how unracist they are while being the most racist people I've ever heard. Like, if you can substitute the words that you're using with like white or black, and it's offensive one way and not the other, you're probably offensive, period. Like, it's probably out of line. That's how this feels. I mean, what you were talking about with The Last of Us, with the marginalized stuff.
Yeah. So I don't like... so one of Nick Sphere's videos, he put it out recently. It said something to the effect of, inclusion doesn't mean you support the idea. So just like if they are showing a trailer where women are being hurt, it's likely to show that the world has gone to shit. Not
that women deserve that. Yeah.
and stab women in the stomach. Like,
and it also implies that if you didn't point that out, women would be too stupid to realize that they were being manipulated in some way or taken advantage of or portrayed in some way. Like, it's very, I don't know, it's a very hypocritical stance, I guess, to assume that something out of context like that for the shock of it to get attention isn't actually grounded in a legitimate story narrative, like you had mentioned. With there's probably a reason to show that the world's gone to shit. That's what this is supposed to imply.
Yeah.
Not hey, we made a game about stabbing women.
Right. It's because it's not like murder rape, the game. It's a post-apocalyptic story about people treating each other like things.
A commentary on humanity
horrible.
and how bad you can get. It's very frustrating to see. I don't think these people necessarily believe what they're saying sometimes. I really think that there's don't want to stand out from the crowd, sort of a thing where a lot of these, like in San Francisco and Austin, where a lot of these journalists all hang out together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which I understand. You don't want to piss your friends off. But there's this weird thing where I know a lot of these people have to be saying, I know this is bullshit, but my career and my social standing is not worth, this is not the hill I'm going to die on. So
yeah,
you just have to keep your job and toe the line. But
dude,
we're in the Midwest, so we don't have to do that. And this is a hobby, so we can be a little more honest about that stuff, I think.
Man, there are sections in Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and he wrote the Gulag Archipelago, and he's talking about Soviet Russia, and he's saying like there would be these government meetings, and Stalin would say something, or someone of authority would say something, and people would stand and clap and applaud, do a standing ovation, and people would stand for like 10 minutes at a time and applaud because the first person to sit down was arrested and thrown in the gulag. That's what this reminds me of. It's like, toe the line, write this article, sound like the same, or you're going to get outed.
Yeah. It's something that you might not be, but we're going to say it like, and yeah, it's frustrating. So Polygon, well, we cite them a lot.
Yeah.
They provide some really good articles, but they provide some really bad ones too. They're huge, so they get really good contact and they get really good information from developers.
Mm-hmm.
But man, when they have to spew their opinions, sometimes I'm just like, wow.
Man.
You're a parody of yourself.
Yeah.
So, but Polygon, it is what it is. They're the guy that started it, Griffin McElroy. I'm a huge fan of him. As crappy as that website can get, I adore My Brother and Me podcast. I don't care. So, okay, let's talk about something good before we talk about what we've been playing.
Okay.
Have you read anything about this potentially awesome GameStop program?
I could tell you it required power-up rewards.
It does. Good job reading the notes. So it's $60 for 6 months, and you get an unlimited amount of games that you can play and swap. You get one game at a time, and you can play any used game that you want. At the end of that 6 months, you get to keep any one of those games that you played.
Okay.
So now you're paying $60, but you get included rentals, as many as you want, and then the game that you liked the best out of that 6 month period, you get to keep, and it's a physical copy.
That's pretty cool.
I think that's amazing.
That sounds all right.
You are required to be part of their, like you mentioned, like you read, the Power Up Rewards, which I think is $20, or the Gamer Plus thing. I forget what they call it. But it's like, I think it's $25 a year.
That sounds right.
$5 a month. and then you get to keep one of. So you could play 6 games, right? No, $10 a month, right? So $10 a month, and you can play 6 games. 1 game a month, even if it's huge, is plenty of time to finish a game. And then you get to keep your favorite one. That's a really, really good deal, I think.
That seems okay.
Plus, you get Game Informer automatically, anyways. So you get a physical.
It can't be perfect.
I know, but you get a physical magazine, right? That's a pretty. If you're on a budget or you're in college, this is incredible. What if you just don't care? You have a PS4 and you want to use it.
That's basically just Netflix prices, right? $10 a month?
Yeah, that's how I looked at it. And what if you do get a game that you beat in 10 hours?
Yeah.
That's 2 weeks. You can go get another game. This sounds like the most consumer-friendly thing out of GameStop in a long time.
Maybe ever.
And this sounds like a really great deal.
Man, it's not good for PlayStation Now.
No. Not at all. Now, it does, if you don't have decent internet, this could be a huge problem.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose a day in downloading patches if you get like Halo 5 or something. Halo 5 on my Xbox is 100 gigabytes installed. I have the disc. And it's still 100 gigs.
Wow. Man.
Yeah, so that could be a potential issue, but let's assume that's not a problem. You're willing to let it download overnight. Let's say overnight is an option for you. Mm-hmm. I think this is still a really good deal. Even marginal internet.
Another great band name.
EA Battlefront 2 Boys.
Oh, no, I was thinking Marginal Internet.
Oh, yeah. Marginal Internet is a really good band name. That's really good. So the Skycraft says GameStop and its power-up rewards. He said, I will play all the games. EA Battlefront 2, boys. Now that makes sense. Yeah, EA that's a perfect opportunity to try Battlefront. Mm-hmm. Play the multiplayer when it's a huge deal and really popular, and then you can move on to your next. Or, I mean, this is really cutting into Redbox. I've heard Redbox is doing really good with games.
Huh. Man, I forgot they even rented games. That's crazy.
That's how I play Sonic Generations. Gooch told me, hey, you can play it in a weekend. So I went and I tried to play it in a weekend. That's why I hate that boss. I was running up against the time where I needed to take the disc back, and I couldn't beat it. It was all clunky. I call it broken. I don't know if it really was or not. This is not for me because I buy a lot of digital sales. Mm-hmm. But if you don't, and you're only in one console, I think this is incredible.
Yeah.
Smart on GameStop's position, because they're going to be using inventory to generate money without losing some of that inventory.
Yeah.
And customers are happy, so they still get foot traffic, so they can sell their knickknacks when you go in to exchange your game.
Oh, man, it's like a hybrid of old school, like Blockbuster rental and Netflix.
It's what Blockbuster wanted to do when Netflix was stomping them out, but before Netflix did streaming. Mm-hmm. And if you were... My mom would have definitely done like $50-$60 a month for just being able to swap a game or two each weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they had to have spent that.
Yeah.
It was $3 to $5 to rent a game. For some Blockbuster, it was like $3 to $5 a night.
Yeah. It would be extended sometimes on weekends.
Sometimes. It usually had to go to the not Blockbuster, which is why I was a big network video fan. That's where my parents let me go. Or the farm, what I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
The farm had an awesome video rental and game section.
That's awesome.
Whenever someone brings up horror movies and you remember like Hellraiser or Halloween 5 with the little girl on the front, or RoboCop, like those are what I remember seeing at the farm. Mm-hmm. That stupid little store. Which I watched Hellraiser. I felt almost bad that I didn't do a good job with Outlast. Almost. This didn't really influence me that much. I watched Hellraiser Halloween night. I hadn't seen that movie in a long, long time.
What'd you think?
It's worth watching. It's really stupid.
It is real dumb.
It's real dumb.
Christy is super pretty, though. The girl who plays Christy.
Oh, my goodness, yes. She was pretty in the way that Scarlett Johansson was pretty.
Yeah.
Real cute. Mm-hmm. Isn't it weird how you look at girls that were really pretty back in the day and you don't find them all that pretty the way that you do women today?
Yeah.
But every now and again, there's one that jumps out at you.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Greer from Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Like immediate crush on her. And the Hellraiser girl, the daughter, the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Like every now and again, you're like, oh my goodness. Hellraiser, though, would have absolutely just made me shit myself as a kid.
Right. That's pretty intense.
Everything about it would have scared the hell out of me. Resurrection from blood dripping on floor.
Yeah.
Creepy coming to life. The weird, the makeup and the effects are so good.
Yeah. Oh man, imagine being mortified or terrified of cutting yourself and bleeding on the floor because you think somebody's gonna like come out of the floorboard and eat your soul.
Yeah,
like eat your body rather.
Like people that were scared of arachnophobia. Scared to go in the shower after watching Arachnophobia. That's like nothing compared to like a little kid bleeds all the time.
Yeah.
Like you drop someone on the sidewalk and you're like, oh my God, I broke my mom's back and the demon's coming out. Great.
We got to go.
Or you like cut down a tree in the backyard and like, oh great, that's a portal to hell. Awesome. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I need to get The Gate on Blu-ray. I don't have that.
Oh,
I love The Gate.
It's good.
It says Cute Girl Podcast. Yeah, we should just have a 20-minute segment of like surprisingly pretty. Like, just spend a few minutes. A lot of people will say, "Oh yeah, we agree." They're deceptive about it. Like probably every dude's like, "Oh, she's like quietly real cute," but every guy's like, "Yeah, the daughter in Hellraiser's really adorable."
Yeah.
So GameStop, good job.
Yes. Man, way to remember what you were talking about.
Right.
Goodness.
So, all right, Dustin, let's talk about our favorite YouTube channel of the week.
YouTube channel of the week. Week. This week, I'm going to go ahead and warn you up front. I'm going to talk about a series that is only 2/3 complete. And the second video came out 2 years ago.
So we got a Gooch and the douchebag situation here. That's twice I've done that tonight.
That's their Brangelina douche.
Yes. The douche.
So his name is C. Marshall, as in Charlie Echo Echo, C-E-E Marshall. And he did a Dead Space series dissection. And I've already watched the first one. And it was awesome. He talks about the first game and the first one. He's starting to talk about the second game and the second one. I'm like halfway through it. I'm enjoying it also, but I can't comment on its full episode awesomeness because I haven't seen it yet. And Dead Space 3 will never be dissected. So,
well, it already has, but ruthlessly by people like Jim Sterling.
He probably just threw his hands up and like, nah.
Like,
I'm just going to shut this channel down. Burn it to the ground.
He hated EA back before it was cool to hate EA. I guess Jason Schreier from Kotaku did I didn't read it, but I guess it's a really extensive article on Visceral that you'd probably find pretty fascinating. Talking about how things went wrong, why they were bleeding talent, stuff like that. Which is pretty impressive.
Don't bleed on the floor.
Don't bleed on the floor. And also in YouTube channel of the week, I did want to mention a web series, borrowing from Dustin here a little bit. So this web series is called Kai Loki, Cyloki, like Kylo Ren and Loki from the Avengers. So if you've ever seen like fan fiction or goofy web series about nerdy stuff, I think you'll really enjoy this. If you've seen like Space Janitors, which is about janitors on the Death Star.
Okay.
Like dumb stuff, but really funny. If you know those characters, the jokes in this cut deep and are really funny. The premise of the show, it's 6 episodes long. The episodes are about 3 minutes, and there's a regular old dude who just rents an apartment, and his 2 roommates are Kylo Ren and Loki. And they hate each other, and the actors that play these guys are incredible. The channel has like 900 subscribers. They should have millions.
Wow.
The cinematography and the writing of the jokes, the actors even look like Adam Driver or Tom, Mr. Loki, whatever. What's his name? Tom something?
Hiddleston?
Ooh, yes. Something really close to that.
Hiddleston?
Stun, for sure, at the end. Hingston?
Higgins Bottom?
Whatever. That guy. The actor that plays him is really great. It's very, very funny. I want to talk about the whole thing, but then in 2 minutes I could spoil it all.
Right.
But I will mention this. At one point, so you've seen Force Awakens, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember at one point Kylo Ren freaks out and starts taking the lightsaber to the dash of something?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, in this web series, he does that to television shows that upset him. So there's this whiteboard of shows he's not allowed to watch. Including, like, The Bachelor. Like, so it's a very funny in-joke, and they do it really well. So, Leisure Elk is the channel, and Kai Loki is the Star Wars Adventure crossover. I've seen every episode several times. It came out last year.
Uh-huh.
It's still funny every time I watch it. Like Legend of Neil's another good one like that. It takes place in the Zelda universe. Like the first game. Like they even have the actor like run to the edge of the frame, and then the camera will pan ahead, and the actor will come into frame. Like dumb little touches like that. One guy's called Old Man, and he refers to himself as Old Man. I don't know. It's just really funny. So, all right. So, Dustin. Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Loki, Chris Stuckman gave Thor Ragnarok an A.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had heard rumblings. It was good.
Yeah.
There's something about... So, Chris Stuckman reminds me of someone I fucking hate. It really gets on my nerves. The person. But
right.
I love Chris Stuckman's opinions on... I agree with him a lot with his video recommendations. So even though the way he talks reminds me of a guy that drives me insane, I love his opinion so much I can get past it.
Yeah.
And I'm bummed he didn't have a Hellraiser review. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I get done watching a video and be like, I want to see what Stuckman said.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
But he gave it an A.
Yeah.
I heard it's funny. That's what I'm hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
Like Spider-Man, surprisingly funny.
Yeah, he echoed that. He said it a lot of times. It was funny.
Funny? Good.
Mm-hmm.
He's got short hair. It's weird.
It is weird, yeah.
It's like, if it's Samson told as Thor, I'm going to be pissed. Like he loses, he can't pick up the hammer because his girlfriend cut his hair off or whatever.
Then he pushes the temple.
Was that even in the Bible?
Mm-hmm.
I just remember it in Bible school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both. It was in both.
Yeah, okay. Clearly I was a scholar and followed it very closely.
Also, I think that we're totally setting ourselves up to be Leisure Elk and John Learned hipsters.
Really good channels before they blow up.
Yeah. We're like, what? Going?
Honestly, yes, John Learned was exactly like that. I watch it and I'm like, hey, how does this guy have so few subscribers? This is incredible content.
Yeah.
Like Leisure Elk, you watch that, and at bare minimum, you would think 50, 60,000 subscribers. Less than 1,000. These guys deserve a lot. I've given them a lot of views. I don't feel too bad. Leisure elk. A leisure elk hipster. I'm cool with that. I want a shirt like that.
Yeah.
All right, Dustin, so you got a Switch.
Yep.
Walk me through this. Was this an impulse purchase? Was this a surprise?
So, my nephew was in his high school band, and they had a competition in Atlanta, and my wife and her two sisters went down there with him to kind of support him and just, be there.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, Solly and I are going to have most of the weekend to ourselves. Like, what can we do? And I kept seeing stuff coming up like Super Mario Odyssey. And then I thought back to, I still distinctly remember the day my dad bought a Nintendo. As well, actually, I've been reading a lot how memory is not as...
Who cares? We don't know that. We don't know that.
Theoretically, this memory is sound. I still remember, like, I looked out the window and saw my dad walking up from the car, and he had a bright blue bag. And I remember thinking, why does he have a blue bag? That's so weird for him to have something in a blue bag. What is that? And it was a Nintendo.
Hell yeah.
So what I did was on my lunch break, I went up and I got a Super Mario Odyssey Switch and brought it home, and I just had it here. And when Solly got home, I was just like, hey, dude, check this out. I plopped it down right in front of him. He's like, what? I was like, that's Super Mario Odyssey. That's a brand new Nintendo Switch. You want to play it? And he was like, yeah. So we did it.
What did he think when he got to hold it in his hands and, like, I don't know, see a game that close to his face? Because he's only played on TV, right?
We actually haven't even played it that much in handheld mode.
Oh, you're going to blow his mind.
Yeah. I'm kind of afraid to give it to him in handheld mode. I'm afraid to drop it and break it.
That's fair.
So I had it like in the dock, like up high enough so you can reach it. But the funny thing is, I bought Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. And I was like, here's the games for you. You want to play it? And he was like, oh, Breath of the Wild, because my buddy has 3 kids, but the 2 boys have been playing Breath of the Wild on Wii U.
Oh, okay.
So when he saw it, he was like, The Legend of Zelda. And I was like,
awesome.
That's awesome that you know that. He's like, you want to play that? And he's like, yeah, I do. And he legitimately, like, for the first day, I played maybe 30 minutes.
Really?
Most of the day, yeah.
That is your kid. That's awesome, man. I thought you were going to say, I remembered Kim approved it a while ago. So I'm just going to get it and tell her that's what I did.
Yeah.
I think we're going to... Yeah, I vividly remember the day I got a Nintendo too.
Yeah.
I was sitting at our coffee table downstairs. I had this blue safe I was saving up for. My parents knew I was saving up. I was doing chores to save up to get a Nintendo. I had $28. And my dad came home out of nowhere and said, go get your money. We're going to go get a Nintendo. And I was blown away. I later found out he played one at the golf course and was like, this is amazing. My kid wants one of these. Then we went to Hills and it was $99. You ever heard of Hills?
Mm-hmm.
Best popcorn that's ever existed is from Hills. Yeah, like my parents might even still have that box with the Hills sticker on it.
Cool.
It's weird how I vividly remember that. And I would swear on my life that I remember that perfectly. Just like you're saying. Yeah, blue bag. Yeah, that's very cool, man.
He had a blue bag. You had a blue safe.
There's something there. We have a blue graphic. This was meant to be. Wait till Sully gets older. He's going to meet some dude on the internet and be like, man, we should talk about what our dads did for us.
That's such a weird thing.
Weird thing to think about. Right? Can you imagine, like, podcasting is still new. This is a bizarre thing.
Yeah.
Like, there is no end date, but there could be.
Mm-hmm.
like podcasting in general, not just like our channel or whatever.
Right.
But it could always exist. So it might be normal for this to always be published. Like, it's weird for us to think about, but
yeah,
it might be weird the other way if you don't do that in 30 years. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Zarek says, a tip. You can have 2 separate save files for Zelda, but only if you make separate profiles on the Switch.
That's true. I did that.
Tony also said that.
Cool.
And he said that he's got 5 profiles, I think, on his Switch, and everybody's just works well. I thought for a second that you could do the sleep mode per profile. So you could, like, you and Kim and Sully could each have a profile. You're playing Odyssey. You put Dustin Odyssey to sleep. Sully could pick up Zelda under his profile. You go back to Dustin and you're like waking up the system for the, like, right exactly where you left off.
Huh.
That's not the case.
Oh, okay.
That would have blown my mind.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
You have to close the software to switch profiles, so you couldn't have the wake feature.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But my God, that's got to be inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be just a resource issue, not necessarily like a programming issue. Like, do we have enough RAM to just hold that? Okay, let's do it.
Next generation, maybe.
So, as far as Breath of the Wild, you've gotten here, don't let your kids play Minecraft?
Yeah, dadgum. So, all right. I'll just let him play and go wild with it. And then occasionally he'd be like, yo, Dad, this is kind of hard. Let's make some progress. So I take it and we'd make a little bit of progress. And we've gotten, okay, so we've got it's not too much of a spoiler. We got the paraglider.
That's in the tutorial.
Yeah, basically. We got through the tutorial. And I've got like 5 hearts, 6 hearts. So we've gone through that many shrines.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. I'm primarily concentrating on getting 13 hearts so I can get the Master Sword because I'm tired of using like Boko clubs. Because the weapons breaking sucks. It sucks. It sucks a lot.
Yes. It gets better as you get on, but I didn't get to 13 hearts yet, so I still have these busting items. But as you get further in the game, you find better items that don't break as easily.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it not suck, though.
Yeah, I imagine. So I'm trying to get some weapons that don't break. But, yeah, I would make some progress, and I'd accumulate resources, and I'd start to feel good, and then he'd break like half my weapons trying to chop down trees. He's like chopping down trees with a sword, and I'm like, what are you doing? Chop down this tree. Why? Because I can.
Yeah.
You're breaking my weapons, is what you're doing. Like, the day after, Kim gave him it was that Sunday, he started the game and played it while I was asleep, and when I loaded the autosave, like, I had no arrows. All my weapons were broken. He had like used all my ingredients to make like garbage food that didn't do anything. So, yeah, I labeled this part Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, aka don't let your kids play Minecraft, because he's just like, whatever, I'm going to chop down all these trees and shoot all these arrows into the air for no reason.
Well, eventually you'll be taking those training wheels off, and you're like, you broke all those.
Yeah.
Go find more.
He has his own profile now, and he has his own save file now.
Okay.
So, ruin your game, buddy. Go for it.
That's your own fault. Okay. That is awesome. Because I totally remember ruining and accidentally erasing my cousin's gold cart save file on the first one. Felt really bad.
But yeah, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild feels like they said the very first Legend of Zelda for the NES was awesome. What if it was a modern game?
They mapped it out, supposedly, using that same methodology of a 2D top-down, and then they built it after that.
Yeah.
It feels that way. What's really fun about that game, and I'm not much into open-world games, so this is probably trivial for a lot of people, but truly the look at that and then go to it sort of a thing. And there's, because of the variables, there's a million different ways to get to a spot that you see, whether you're gliding or climbing or like you'll be in a wintry area where you can, if you had the proper attire, you could just walk through it. Or if you're there too early, you can set sticks on fire that keep you warm, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's incredible what they let you do in that.
Yeah, or make a recipe and eat that and stay warm.
Yes. I got to get back to that game.
It's good.
It's very, very good.
And everything in both the games I played and just the interface of the Switch, everything is slick. Like, it is... Like, that is some Nintendo-ass Nintendo products.
It's got the magic, doesn't it? It's really got the Nintendo juice.
Oh, my goodness.
You turn it on, here's your video games. That's it.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, here's some stuff on the left you might be interested in. Hit home, and then it's just your games. Whatever you want. And it's slick. You drop in the dock, and it works. Take it out of the dock, and it doesn't. It's a little clunky. It's not perfect, but I adore the Switch. I'm glad.
For what it is, it's awesome.
It's pretty incredible that it really feels like to play a Zelda game that's the biggest one ever on a little tiny tablet.
Yeah.
That feels big just so it's more comfortable to hold is an insane thing to think about. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you get those two games in right before we submit our Game of the Year stuff to the to the violent gaming gods on Discord. And then also you watched a movie?
I did. One thing I do want to point out is I love the fact that it's 2017. I have fond memories of video games based on Nintendo. So I buy my son a Nintendo product, and the 3 games that I buy are The Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, and Blaster Master.
That's eerie. Especially the Blaster Master is a real weird... That came out of left field, but is perfect.
Yeah. And I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to get to it.
Dude, it's so good. The original Blaster Master, was it really cheap when you were a kid? It was like a $10 game at our KB Toys. I don't know if they got too many of them or if it wasn't popular, but it was a very inexpensive game at our toy store in the mall.
I remember hearing about it, but I never saw it for rent. I never saw it to purchase. Like, it was just...
Yeah.
I never saw it around.
Again, our memories might be faulty, but I could walk to the mall on... Like, that store doesn't exist anymore. But I could tell you exactly where it was in that store. Oh, Blaster Master. The new one is far better than the first one, than the original.
Yeah, that's sweet.
The original is too difficult. This one at least lets you save, and there is a hardcore mode that you can unlock if it's too easy getting up to the boss.
Cool.
It's just fun. You can get really overpowered in that game, and you just make pixels explode.
I love that.
And that's really satisfying. So, cool.
Yeah, I remembered you loving it, so I was like, it's $10. Why not? I've already spent like $500.
Inti Creates, man. Yeah, that was money well spent. And if you really get in a Mega Man, because I know you guys like Mega Man over there, Mighty Gunvolt Burst is also one to keep in mind. That's also $10.
Okay.
And it's you can make your own weapons Mega Man game, but you don't have to.
Right.
But you don't have to acquire.
I remember you talking about that. Cool.
That's a phenomenal game too. That's a really good game. The Switch is incredible.
Yeah.
If you have a PC and a Switch, like, shut it down. You can. So what? You don't have Halo. Although with PC, the new Halos will be on PC because of the Microsoft Store.
Yeah. Man, I love that Nintendo was like, maybe there's something to this third-party support. Like, yeah. Good job, Nintendo.
Let's make this an attractive platform. Yeah, that's awesome. The Switch is great, and I'm glad you got one. especially right before the holidays. It's all he is going to remember forever. Exactly what, I mean, you passed down the torch. It's really cool.
Yeah. I hope so. I hope, since he's almost 5, so I'm hoping like his first, like, I remember this from way back when. I hope those memories are starting to form now.
They are. 4 and 5, of course.
Yeah.
And he loved it. It's not like he went, meh.
Right. Oh man. Actually, I would have been stoked.
I was gonna say, like, how upset would you really be? Like, he's not into this.
Well, hey, Minecraft's in the other room, buddy.
More for me.
I'll be in here. Let me know. If you get hungry or something, shout.
You keep passing Sonic off to him. Although you did play Sonic Mania. Didn't you get that on PS4? Mm-hmm. Okay. I was going to say, man, that on Switch is amazing, too.
I might buy that just for the handheld mode.
It felt appropriate on that system.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there was a physical copy, I'd actually consider rebuying it.
Oh, I totally would.
Yeah, so. Okay, so Annabelle's creation, what's this?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I put this in here thinking I'd want to talk about it, but I don't really remember anything specific. It's just I watched it recently. It came out not long ago on Blu-ray, but I missed it for my movie marathon.
Okay.
So I watched it over the weekend or maybe on Monday. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But I watched it and it was excellent. So it's going to be on my next year's movie marathon. So if you are, it's just an awesome haunted house horror movie. Haunted house horror movie. That's good alliteration.
That's seashells by the seashore kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I think I think James Wan may have been involved in this. He's the guy who did Saw, the first Saw.
Oh, okay.
And he's the one who did Insidious and The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2, like all those really excellent horror movies.
I heard The Conjuring's excellent.
It's so good.
Do you remember Return of the Living Dead? Is that what it was called in the 80s? It was like 86.
Yeah.
That's a horror movie that doesn't hold up well, but holds up incredibly well.
Right, yeah.
One of those kind of weird things. I thought Annabelle Creation was going to be more campy like that. Something about that name made me think that it would be like silly and not as... when you say the Saw guy is involved, I just think of like gore porn.
Yeah. It's pretty funny because the first Saw was very little gore.
Oh, was it?
It was the sequels that went to like full torture porn.
I think it was this... I saw the second or third one. I had not seen the first one.
Yeah. Annabelle Creation was very light on gore. Like it was mostly just spooks. Like, well, no, that's not true. Actually, now that I think about it, there is one part that's actually pretty gruesome.
It's not like what were the Hellraiser things called? The Cenobites. Cenobites. Like when they're like throwing hooks into people.
Right. It's not.
That's tame. That's tame in that.
Yeah. Yeah, parts of it are pretty bad. But Annabelle Creation is the second of a sequel that far surpasses the original.
Oh, okay.
Because like Ouija came out and it was a trash fire. And then Ouija Origins came out and it was awesome. It was directed by the guy who did Oculus.
I have not seen either of those.
You should watch both of them.
Sounds like there could be a rift between us. I'm trying. It's the best I could do.
That's good. That was excellent. I give that 2 thumbs up. But Annabelle came out and it was a trash fire. And then Annabelle Creation comes out and it's awesome.
So it's like the Star Trek, like every other is good, or
apparently, yeah. I think if memory serves, Chris Stuckman gave Annabelle Creation a B+.
All right.
So
anything in the B or up on him, I tend to agree with.
Same.
Zarek says, speaking of the last thing, he says, by the way, speaking of Mario and Zelda, he said, you read my Mario comment wrong. Oh, he baited the first player to try and jump over the gap using the hat. Then he pulled it away last second. So he's just trolling. That's pretty funny.
So he pulled a Charlie Brown.
Yes. Would that be pulled a Lucy?
Yes. The guy who died pulled the Charlie Brown.
Yes. Yes. Second player is the Lucy. That's how all the Notre Dame fans feel right now, because they've had a very good season, but they were terrible last year. So all the Notre Dame fans are just waiting for Lucy to pull the football out from under him. Like, this is all going to end.
The shoe's going to drop any moment.
The shoe's going to drop. Hey, if I can get 2 months into a football season, still excited, that's a win for how bad they've been over the majority of my lifetime. They were awesome when I was a kid, and a sprinkling of good seasons here and there. But yeah, we're all waiting for something bad to happen. And we've already talked about what I have played. I did get a code for Mummy Demastered.
Okay.
Which is a licensed property from the terrible Tom Cruise movie.
That's so weird.
But it's a pixelated Contra-style game made by Waypoint. Or Way Forward.
No.
That did, like, right? So it starts up, and I'm like Tony got the code and sent it our way, and I'm like, this music's freaking amazing. It's like Jake Kaufman. I don't know if he did it, but it's his doppelganger, if not.
Yeah. Somebody really wanted to be him.
Beautiful pixel art. All I did was just boot it. I haven't played it, but I was very impressed out of the gate, and I heard Brad Shoemaker talking about it being pretty good. So then there was discussion about good games from crappy movies.
Man, that sounds like a fever dream I would have.
A pixelated Mummy Tom Cruise movie? Yeah. That's good. So hopefully I'm going to play that here soon. But I'm going to try to stream some of it. I have it on PC.
Well, PC? Okay.
I don't know what other platforms it's on. Probably others. I mean, Way Forward, like whenever they do stuff, like Mighty Switch Force or DuckTales Remastered, any of that stuff is like been everywhere. Yeah. So I would imagine it's available outside of PC, but I just have a Steam code.
Cool.
I'm gonna say it's like $10. It seems really. I'm pretty optimistic. I'm gonna enjoy this game.
That's so weird.
Right? I was like, oh, the Mummy Demastered. My first thought was, oh, that's too bad because that Mummy movie just came out. What a bad title to have come out at the same time as a bad Mummy movie, and it turns out it's the same license. But Way Forward, other than Checkpoints and DuckTales, does amazing stuff. So, I guess here we go. Like, I'm going to play some Mummy Demastered. That also sounds like a gimmick, too. Like, Demastered from a game that doesn't have, like, a... It's bizarre. So I guess that's what I've been up to. I guess let's get to our YouTube comments from last week, and we'll call it a show. We did get the Andrew. We did get the email, so thank you very much. I'll address that after the show. Do you have first comments up? I'm struggling to find it.
I do. Do you want me to read Tony's?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. He says, "Hey guys, glad to be listening another week. Always good to be alive. Happy to hear you brought up the Jennifer Hale interview, as that was a blast for me to film, and I thought Josh did an exceptional job facilitating the interview. Good job answering questions in the chat this week. When you were talking about Fallout, I've tried to love it multiple times, but just can't get into the world. I love Skyrim, though, which is essentially a very similar game, but I love the medieval setting over the post-nuclear setting. I have to somewhat agree with him. I love the mechanics over it enough that I play it anyway. But with the post-nuclear setting, you never feel like you are making headway improving the world. Like it's always this irradiated dump.
Yeah.
whereas all of the like Oblivion and Skyrim are these just lush, awesome, beautiful worlds.
They just came out, of course they did, came out with a new Skyrim mod that added different trees and the textures in the trees. It's unbelievable that is a game that's 5 years old or whatever. It looks as good as anything that came out today. The physics and the needles of the pine trees, stunning. Looks like a Pixar thing. I couldn't believe it.
That's awesome.
I didn't install it, but I saw an article about it. I thought, wow. If we could get Gooch back on the podcast, I'd have him talk about it. Because you and him, like, for 2 years straight, that's what was on your game list.
Mm-hmm.
This week, I played Skyrim.
I played Skyrim for 120 hours.
Before you played Skyrim.
Right, yeah. That was before I even started the game. Okay, so he goes on to say, Stranger Things. I still have not watched season 1. Further proof that I'm behind on my media consumption. I am pumped for Mario Odyssey. I'm commenting on Friday, and my copy is coming in the mail from Amazon. Line of the week from Dustin. I would love to see one of those 90-pound vegans get sacked. That would be funny. Scott, glad you watched War of the Planet of the Apes. That is that one is on my list. DB, I am with Scott. I highly recommend a desktop. You should buy an older Office PC off eBay for $200 with an i5. Then grab the 1050 Ti GPU, and that will be able to game. Yes. That is what I did recently. My video will be coming out soon on that. You can probably get everything for less than $500 and even be all set up for podcasting. Another great episode. Yeah.
Plus, with how good the software's gotten, you can stream with a $500 rig too. It's quite remarkable.
If I'm able to stream with my PC here, then yeah.
Yeah, if you're not trying to push 4K out, I mean, plus the 1050 Ti has not been consumed by the cryptocurrency psychopaths. So that's still a good price to performance GPU.
Also a good band name. Also a good band name.
The cryptocurrency, what did I just say?
Psychopaths.
Okay.
Cryptocurrency psychopaths. That sounds like an industrial punk band.
I was just gonna say with like a dissolved skull or something in their graphic.
Yeah.
That'd be good. So yeah, thanks Tony. And I'm glad that he agrees with you and I on the recommendation there. Andrew asks, it's too bad DB's not here. I think we already covered this. He says, for next week, I'll leave my, it says, I'll leave, if Nintendo decides to release an N64 classic. It says, how many games do you think it should hold? Any games that were made for the N64 that were canceled that you think should be released on the classic? I don't know of any canceled games.
Mm-hmm.
How many games? I think 20 is a minimum for a re-release console. What would you think?
Let's see. Mario 64, GoldenEye, Mario Kart 64, and you're good.
So you think you could do 10 or less and sell like hotcakes?
I just don't think there are 26 good games for the Nintendo 64.
That might be fair. You could get to 15, I think. Yeah, you're right. That library is rough.
It's a pretty anemic library.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. There's some great stuff in there, but for the most part, I mean that is like a console in puberty right there. Just
yeah,
awkward. But you feel bad. Like, you'll get through it, buddy. You're showing some promise. Yeah. So,
and don't worry, in 2017, you're gonna be awesome. It's gonna be an awesome
everyone's
Super Mario.
Everyone's gonna remember you. You're gonna be loved. Oh, that was a little closer parallel than I meant, but eerily spot on, I think. He also says, I don't know if you covered this in an older episode back in August, but what did you think of Half-Life 2 Episode 3's plot being leaked by Mark Laidlaw? We did talk about this. If you look on our website for Half-Life Episode 3, it would have been one of the August episodes a couple months ago. We did talk about it. For the fans, I think it's cool that they got a little bit of closure. I remember us saying that.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't get in any legal trouble, like if he had an NDA or something like that. I feel like I remember asking you what would be a game you'd like to have a writer explain.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll vote for Gooch and the Douchebag to give us our worst consoles list, and you can go to C. Mitchell to finish Dead Space.
Right.
That'll be our wish.
Also, I would love to have Amy Hennig finish Legacy of Kain.
There you go.
That would be awesome.
She was the one that was at Visceral, I think.
Mm-hmm. She was doing Star Wars.
I hear, based on the Jason Schreier article, that the team loved her story on that. And I guess she was stretched real thin.
Yeah.
You should, I should too. Go read that article and dig in, because it sounds like really interesting tidbits. So yeah, that'd be cool if she could explain that kind of stuff, I guess. But I'm in support of a franchise that's been abandoned to have authors say, hey, here's what I wanted to do. Now, if he would have done it and this is in process, in development, that would be shitty and illegal for him to do. But it's been abandoned, so it's almost like an opinion, I would think. But that's a legal mess. I think if Valve wanted to, they could go after him for leaking IP.
Hopefully Mark Laidlaw doesn't have the law laid on him.
Boom. That's a good reversal right there. Whenever I hear a name like that, it makes me think of Arrested Development Season 3, where Scott Baio...
blah, blah,
blah, blah, blah. I really, really like that show.
Yeah.
Maybe was another one that was like quietly, you're like, I think she's pretty cute. But you didn't hear people talking about her. And then every other guy that you were like, do you think maybe was kind of hot? They'd be like, yeah, I quietly thought maybe he was pretty cute. You know what I mean?
Are we talking about
maybe from Arrested Development?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. I forgot.
You're looking at me blank. I'm like, I guess I'm the only one in this podcast that thought she was really cute.
I totally agree. The freckles.
Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
right? Weird. It must be our Irish heritage. You've got some ginger in you, my grandma's. My whole I've got freckles all over too. I got the pasty skin like bad lottery. Irish and Central European. Like the only people that would look at my pigmentation with envy would be like way Nordic people that like have translucent skin in like Iceland or something. Yeah. So, all right. I think that's going to be it for the show this week, right? Do we have anything else?
I think that's it.
Caleb says we should do a 10,000 subscriber live stream.
We just need 10 people.
We need to get there.
No,
10.
we need 25 people.
Yes, because we dip down and then go back up. Boy, it's going to be kind of brutal for me. It's silly, but to watch it bounce between inevitably 10,001 and 9998 is going to be really annoying.
Yeah.
Eventually, I think we will cross the threshold comfortably and be at 10K forever, but that's okay. As long as we can get that fifth digit. YouTube unlocks the world for us.
Yes.
Actually, you actually would be able to take advantage of some of it. There's like a YouTube creator studio and stuff in Nashville.
Cool.
So if you wanted to, you could actually be invited to some of that stuff, which would be kind of crazy.
Yeah. Go hang out with like the 19-year-old kids who like started their channel last week and have 250,000
They
subscribers.
got mentioned on Disney, so now they're like
Right, yeah.
10 million subs.
So yeah, Caleb, if you guys want to go out and champion our channel and get us like 50 subs, so we are comfortably over 10,000.
Yes, if Dustin and I feel comfortably over 10,000, we'll do a co-op stream together.
There you go.
We'll do Portal or Toe Jam and Earl.
We'll play
Halo, not Scott Pilgrim.
What you call it? What the hell did we almost play that one time? You don't know Jack.
Oh, you don't know Jack would be a good one. With our subscribers?
Yeah, because they could come in.
That would be very fun. So, yes. We will celebrate. It'll be 2018 before we get there. No, that's just our pace. Like, that's just how it's been. Although we've done well this year. We grew more this year than we did in 2016. So,
yeah,
that's encouraging. Zarek gets a lot of credit for that.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, that's going to be it for the show this week. I want to thank Ben Landis very much for letting us use his song Through the Forest as our intro music. If you'd like the audio version of our podcast, you can get that at classicleet.com. That's classic L337. Also, if you want to use your phone to listen, you can. Oh, that's good. Jack Paul, the Jackbox Party Pack. And I was making fun of Jake Paul. It's a YouTube guy that was from Disney Channel and got 10 million subs in like 2 days or whatever, and people make fun of him. But anyways, thank you very much to Ben Landis, as I had said. And audio versions of our podcasts are available outside of our website. You can also get them at Apple Podcasts, I guess iTunes, but it's called Apple Podcasts now. Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, SoundCloud, all that fun stuff. Also, social media, you can find us. Our username is @ClassicLeet. That's at Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. SoundCloud's where I share a lot of the music that we play as our outro music. Also, Dustin, I applied for, I don't know if we'll get accepted. We may be getting a vanity Amazon affiliate URL. So it would be like amazon.com/classicleet. And that would be our affiliate link.
That'd be sweet.
That would be awesome. So keep your fingers crossed. But if you do want to support us financially, you can use our affiliate links in the descriptions. If you go to Amazon and buy something, we'll get a small cut. Honestly, though, if you give us subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook or Twitter, follow us on Instagram, I'd rather have that stuff than people clicking on the Amazon link.
True.
Or leave us a review on Google Play or Apple Podcasts. Any of that stuff would be really, really cool. So, Dustin, before I get to the outro music, any final words this week?
Nope. I think I'm good.
All right. Well, one of my favorite chiptune artists of all time, Smiletron, out of Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey.
He's got another project. His name's Dave something, I forget. Called Triangles. We've played Triangles on the podcast before. I released a song this morning or yesterday called The River with his roommate called Slattery. And it is like a bluegrassy kind of guitar tone.
Okay.
A little bit of flat tone singing, which I think is common in hip hop now, with square waves as the bass coming in later on. And the song just builds and builds, and it doesn't overwhelm itself with sounds, and somehow the genres kind of work together really well in not a cheesy way. Usually when you cross like country and like dancier music, it just sounds really corny and bad.
Yeah, real bad.
I really, really like this song. It's a really nice, chill piece of music. I was going to play some metal, but I'm in a more chill mood this week, so I'm not. Zweinhander from Text Syndicate. We've made jokes about that name before, trying to figure out how it's pronounced. Came out with a new album this week, so next week I'll probably feature some chiptune metal. But this week I'd like people to listen to Triangles. It's called The River. It's a very, very nice chill song. And we will see you next week for episode 254.
Boosh.
All right, stream. I got a little rambly, so all of you guys still here. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, close to 2 hours. That's a really long episode for us lately. So, yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna shut down the stream. You all have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out, guys.
Night.